So I got a call about that same washroom that I'd just been in with a photo of a child's hand, soap print on the mirror, dripping, saying, was this in here when you were just here 1 hour ago? And I was like, I am sure I would have noticed I was cleaning. So I came in and it was the fresh smell of soap. There was no little people in the building. It was like midnight. And it was this little tiny hand. So, you know, there's stories like that all the time. An amazing limestone heritage building. It was first built in the early 1800s as a girls' school, and then it was added on to a few years later for a boys' school, and then it was added on to a few years later after that for a high school. So it's always been a school facility up until we took it over about 15 years ago, and so now it's the Elora Centre for the Arts, and we have various art tenants in the building. There's been people that come in that feel things and want to share that story with us. So there was recently, within the last year, a gentleman came in and he said, I want to share with you that I'm feeling some spirits in this space. And, you know, we have people come in and say that all the time. So I was like, oh, okay. And he said, there's a gentleman in the basement and he is upset that his feet are wet. And I didn't know, conversation, I didn't know what to say. 2 days later, the basement that he was referring to, we discovered there was a leak from the washrooms above, and it was the ghost communicating with this gentleman to say, like, there's a leak down here, it would be nice if you could, address it. But it took us 2 to 3 days. I mean, it wasn't a massive leak, but it could have been worse. So I should have believed him and gone down and looked right away, but it took me too long. Another interesting, there's a stairwell here, and I'm guessing this was a high traffic stairwell when the kids were here as part of the school. And people have said they see children sliding down the staircase. And when people come in and say that they were students here, I say, did you guys ever slide down the staircase? And they're like, oh my gosh, all the time we did. But apparently there is a child ghost that continues to slide down the staircase. Another time I was here quite late at night. So the heating in here is all hot water heat or hot air heat. So you get banging in the pipes quite a bit. However, so that's normal, just like random banging. But I've been here at night, and many people have been here at night, when, say, they're listening to music or playing music, and the banging takes on the rhythm of the music. So did you just hear that bang? So, I mean, I feel like they're just reminding us that they're here. It's a very positive vibe that we always get here. I feel like there is definitely a presence all the time, but it's very positive. It's never a scary thing in any way.
Hey everybody, we are here today at the Elora Centre for the Arts. Marianne Kennedy.
And I'm Dawn Rockall.
And we are pretty excited to check out this old building today. And we have a pretty cool episode, I'll tell you, because we've invited some paranormal investigators to come along with us. So we have Trevor and Chris from Haunting Live podcast. They've got some pretty cool instruments I know you guys are gonna love. I know Dawn and I are excited to see what they pick up. So come along with us for this investigation of this 150, 200-year-old building. Okay, so Leanne had mentioned that this particular stairwell has had some activity. People over the years, what did she say? They felt like they could see kids sliding down the banister?
Yes.
All right, so a couple of things about that. The first thing that I pick up in terms of the sliding down the banister is just an imprint to me. And you know, guys at home, you'll remember from our previous episodes that imprints are sort of like energetic fingerprints that really hold the energy of what's happened in a space before. So, you know, but sometimes people can perceive that as something that's happening right now. And it can be hard to tell the difference between the two. But my initial sense is that we just have an imprint of things that have literally gone on in this stairwell. But I will also say that I do pick up a younger energy. I do believe that that's true, and I know that that was reported by somebody, and I'm tuning into something too, but I feel like it's something that we need to move upstairs for. What's your sense here?
I got the same thing, a bunch of imprints, and even as she mentioned, there was a possible, like, people sometimes see a ghost child sliding down the banister. I get the sense that it's an imprint, not so much an actual ghost occurrence that people are seeing.
So let's check out what upstairs has for us.
Yeah.
All right. As soon as I walked in here, the whole left side of my head just went tingly. So this is the location where we have the history of a handprint showing up on the mirror. So, oh, weird. I wonder what's on the other side there. Okay, in this bathroom in and of itself, there's nothing talking to me.
I know. I expected like to open up and have some kind of big...
Nothing. But that's, you know, that's totally normal because spirits move.
Yes.
Energy moves. So there's nothing here currently, but that's sort of good to know.
Yeah.
Let's check, just in case, let's check the other bathroom here.
Okay.
You want to have a look in there?
Yeah. Oh, it goes to the other side.
Oh, okay.
Maybe a little bit, but not here, like just in this zone.
Yeah, this zone.
Yeah, like maybe not right here where we are, but
Yeah, let's see what's below
in
this.
this line, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I totally feel that. Now this will be cool because I want to see what Chris and Trevor pick up if they have like nothing to report in here, but if they pick something interesting up there, I want to see that.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, well, the ladies were actually in the washer. We did get a lot of energy here.
Yes, right in this area here, I was running what we call the EMF meter, and we were actually getting some readings on this one just standing in this spot. So
Yeah, and also underneath the app I'm using, which is actually, we call the Ghost Hunters tool. That one there, we were actually getting a lot, like right here, actually, we've got the word Ashley.
okay,
Sorry, not Ashley, but Ashley.
Allie.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so that's what we actually have here. And also, while the girls were actually in the washroom talking, what I got though is a vision actually of a gentleman standing actually in the stairwell just up here.
Right.
So, do you want to go and take a look at it?
Yeah, sure. Let's take the EMF meter and see if we still get readings down here.
All right, wonderful. Go ahead. All right, so let's go down here and actually see what's going on. I know that the app here is actually jumping, but the area I was actually seeing the gentleman was just over here. The gentleman was roughly like in between 5'8" to 6 foot is how tall he was, but he was actually wearing much older clothing. Now the other word that just came through was soul. Just came through. So we'll just step down and sort of see exactly what goes on. And you said that also though that you were getting a lot of stuff down here also.
Yes.
Okay, but how is that working? So you're not getting that like ESP like here?
No, this area, this thing here is actually fluctuating. It's actually creating actually white noise for the energy to be able to communicate through. What you can sort of see, the top area is right where the barriers are jumping up and down. Those ones there are actually to do with actually the white noise. What you sort of saw just below there is actually the sort of the orange. That right there is actually to do with how much energy that there was. Below is actually the words, and then underneath is also creating white noise. The words will come actually on the right-hand side, actually, of the device that's jumping up and down, sort of like a audio level. That's what that will be. That's what that does.
Okay, but what is it measuring? Is it measuring weather, atmosphere, noise?
It's measuring the EMF levels, so it's taking the EMF and it's measuring how much EMF there is, but that one's creating white noise as well, so the spirits will use that, and there's actually a word database in there that the spirits can put together to make the words that come through, so they use that database and say what they want to say.
And for those that don't know what EMF stands for, it stands for electromagnetic field. All right, and this is sort of like the obelisk that's actually on most ghost shows.
Do the spirits know you're using that?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, whenever we go into a location, we'll actually ask first for permission from the energy actually to be able to communicate with us. Without doing that, though, you never know exactly what you're going to be faced with.
Plus also you have to communicate and connect with the spirit energy before you use your tools, so that's why we use mediumship along with the tools to get the answers.
Okay. Okay, what's that doing?
Right now it's detecting a moderate level of EMF energy. Now right now I'm holding this in the middle of the room, or in the middle of the area, not against any walls, so it should not be going off right now.
Okay.
Now, basically, though, is even though they're from 200 years, actually, their energy is actually from 200 years time period. They're more or less used to actually dealing with us actually at a different level. So what they're doing, though, they're actually more or less talking with us. The tools are actually picking up their energy at their level, but the spirits altogether are only communicating with us.
But spirit energy is spirit energy no matter what it is, so it's just the energy that's left your body after you pass away. So that energy is still the same no matter if you're 200 years old or you just passed away yesterday. That energy is still going to be able to communicate with the white noise and that energy. So.
Okay.
So since this building was actually a school, study is what the students have done, and that's what they're doing. Some students are actually at different levels, basically within the spiritual world. And there's actually two main primary actually types of levels. There's residual and also intelligent haunting. So that's what we're coming across. Intelligent haunting, though, is full communication, full touching, and everything else. Residual, though, is like an old record player that's being played over and over and over. So that's what those two are. Earlier, we were downstairs. Trevor actually had intelligent haunting actually have full contact with Trevor.
Yeah, we can cover that once we get back downstairs if you want.
Okay, so you might already mention it, but in this spot here, what are you guys just roughly getting?
I'm personally getting actually a mail actually with a it could have been the dean or the principal is what I was getting actually with inside this area, or else it could have been actually to do with the maintenance guy. But something to do with the building, though, is what I was picking up with this location strongly. So again, though, what's more or less coming to me right now while I'm actually talking is sort of like a custodian was actually standing in this area.
And I was just picking up on the EMF meter here. It went to a moderate reading and the lights did fluctuate, so that tells me there is some EMF energy around here in this location.
I literally need to just be quiet to tune in for a minute or two here. Oy. Okay. Okay, I've got, I wonder, it's just interesting that it's my left side. It's my whole left leg just went tingly too. I actually have a young female here. And she almost just presented to me like, almost like those old advertisements of like the little girls with little bloomers on and, you know, like little curly, almost like, what was her name? Like Curly Sue looking. I just picked her up and this is interesting, okay? This is interesting because I do feel like she's grounded, so she hasn't moved on in the journey, but she doesn't have any like mischievous energy to her. She doesn't feel like incredibly low vibration. She feels very homely here, but she also has a real loving quality to her, which you don't often experience with grounded spirits, but there's a little bit of that to her. So I almost feel like when I said, where did you just come from? Because she just sort of came at me really unexpectedly there, but I almost feel like she was somewhere else in this building where we were not. So she has just found us just like I just found her. Okay, so I'm gonna have a little bit of conversation with her. If maybe you wanna check out the extra washrooms there, that would be good. See if you pick up anything else here.
Okay.
All right.
Let's have a look.
Well, she's telling me a good story. She's talking to me about, there must have been playgrounds outside here. Maybe that's normal for a school. Maybe at the time there weren't, but she's talking to me about playgrounds here. I don't think she went to school here. This is somebody who lived in this neighborhood or very close to here. I feel like when she passed, which feels sort of suddenly and unexpectedly, but it feels like it's medical related for her, not like an accident, not a tragedy, but something that happened very, very fast to her. And she's talking to me about, upon her sort of soul leaving the body, it feels like she came to the playground here. And I feel like over time, she's just sort of come to find this place as comfortable for her. And I'm asking her too, you know, why she hasn't moved on with the soul's journey. She's almost saying to me, like, what are you talking about? She doesn't understand that there's anything past this. And I also have a sense from her that like her parents, her grandparents, all of those people when she passed were still here in the physical world. No one that she was aware of to greet her. And that doesn't mean there weren't greeters, but sometimes when a soul leaves the body, especially if it's suddenly or unexpectedly, sometimes there's some confusion. And I know that there was some confusion there for her, and it's still there. And so, you know, I don't know that we were anticipating doing any clearing today, but we do need to help this soul. Dawn, did you want to come back over? Have you picked anything up?
I'm getting so many wonderful imprints. I'm just getting like a really nice story about what this place was like in all of its different times.
Yeah.
Because it has been added on to so many different times. It was a really happy place. Like the students here seem to they have really great memories of being here. I just get this really happy feeling for all the imprints that I'm seeing. It's all just happy times, kids laughing. I tend to pick up more on imprints with little boys. I'm not sure if this part of the building is where the little boys were, because it was divided originally as a girls' school and then a boys' school. But yeah, I'm seeing a lot of like images of just boys running and playing and being with one another and hanging up their coats, and it's a really nice feeling.
That's always good. Okay guys, we were doing a little bit of a mic break, and Dawn and I were helping the little girl that I picked up to move on in her soul's journey. And we had just asked Chris and Trevor to be here with their instruments while we were doing the spirit releasement work, which, as you know, doesn't look like very much to anybody, but this is why we wanted the instruments here, because we wanted to be able to show at home some level of energy change happening. And so we just had a few really cool things happen. As I picked up the little girl, there was a name like Beth or Bethany that I was picking up, which sometimes is relevant to the actual spirit. Other times it's someone related to them that, you know, they want to acknowledge in some way. But this amazing instrument picked up the name Elizabeth just after I tuned into that name, Beth or Bethany. And as we were letting the guys know that we were going to be doing some clearing work, some releasement work right now with this soul, words came up, and this is electronic voice phenomenon, I guess it is. And what was coming up was the word agree. So a willingness from the spirit to engage with us. A number of other words, exit, clear, you, something about abhorrent there. Stop moving came up. But we are happy to report that the little girl has moved on with her journey. Both Dawn and I were able to assist her relatively easily, I would say.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a little easier than it actually was, but
Yeah.
you know, once, like you said, she didn't understand.
She didn't understand. We
Yeah.
had to, yeah, exactly. I mean, it wasn't immediate, but it wasn't tremendously difficult either. But what I found, and I think you picked up on it too, is that she really just had no awareness beyond the form reality that she was attached to here. Like no idea whatsoever. I always find that fascinating when they're just absolutely unaware, but she absolutely was. So I'm glad we were able to help her. All right, moving on.
Blow it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So that's maybe what.
Yeah.
Picking up on.
Yeah.
Go down. Change in energy in this room versus.
I know, but come over here. So this room used to be subdivided into different offices. Oh, I feel a little bit nauseous. Okay.
Explain what it was and why we're.
Okay, so this room, this big room used to be subdivided into smaller rooms, and one of the rooms was the principal's office for the school. And there were a lot of things like corporal punishment that took place here. And Leanne, our executive director here, talked to us about people having experiences where they could hear like someone like getting strapped. And there was an energy with that. So as soon as I just walked into this room, I feel a little bit nauseous, which to me is an energy thing. I don't feel like it's a person specifically, at least not at this exact moment, but I'm definitely picking up some vibes in here. What about you, Dawn?
No, again, it's funny. I seem to be picking up on all the good feelings that people have in this space, and
Yeah.
I mean, it was a moment in time that you're tuning into, where I think I'm just on a different vibe and
Yeah.
picking up on a different time
Yeah.
where it is more pleasant.
Yeah, and we've talked about that before, right? That each of us will pick up on what we need to pick up on in a space, right? And so sometimes it's exactly the same thing, and other times it's whatever you need to know, and whomever you might need to help, and whoever I might need to help, or what I might need to experience. I just need a couple of minutes because I just want to be sure that it's not actually a ghost or a spirit that's in here, and that may need to move on its way. So I'm just gonna see if I can tune into that. Well, that's interesting, hey? That's interesting. Okay. I wonder if this is the male spirit that someone mentioned, you know, had communicated that the building was flooded in the basement, because I'm tuning into a man right now. I do feel like he's not, I know this is hard for folks at home to understand, but I feel almost like he's half grounded. So he's like half connected to form, half invested in what's going on here, and half invested in his sort of other reality. It's almost like he's halfway. And I feel like he has a vested interest in this place. I actually wouldn't be surprised if this person was either a caretaker or actually like a principal or teacher here. I feel like he's half invested in what's going on here. So then I wouldn't be surprised to hear that if something were going on that needed attention, he would let somebody know so that the place itself stayed in good repair. But nonetheless, he doesn't need to be here anymore. Because we are here in form to look after form reality, and we don't need souls who have left the body to do that anymore. And so I'm gonna have to help him along the way too. And I feel like it'll benefit the place, and I don't feel like anything's gonna lift off of this place as an energy. I don't feel like anyone's gonna say, oh, I feel so much better. I don't feel like that because I feel like he's a steward here, but we don't need him to be a steward here. So I don't know if this is gonna be easy or if this is gonna be hard, but I'm gonna try to connect with him. So I'm gonna do that now.
And I'll do the same.
Okay, I've got to do something here. Leanne, way over there, and you can just answer me from here. But sometimes when we're helping spirits release from the form reality, sometimes they have requests, and sometimes we can oblige those requests, and sometimes we can't. But I feel that I can maybe pass this along to you, that you will look after this place in a very responsible way, right? absolutely. And I'm just letting him know that he can trust your expertise and that you don't just, it's not just a place that you work, but you're invested into this place because he was, that's what he's saying to me. And I'm trying to assure him that you're going to look after the interests of this place. And if I can get that commitment from you, it's going to make his releasement of the place much easier. And I really feel like you already take that role. So I'm just letting him know that you're going to look after this place to the best of your ability. And it's not something that he needs to worry about anymore. And I'm just going to pass that along to him. Okay. Good. You almost did a little peekaboo, almost going and then, wait, no.
Did you pick up on what his occupation might have been or his role in here?
I actually just right now had a silhouette of looking at him. He actually looked to me like he had overalls or coveralls on. Did you see that?
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking. It might actually be either like the janitor
or like a caretaker.
I didn't catch like a principal.
Me neither.
I got more, like a true caretaker.
Totally. Yeah, he had like coveralls.
Yes.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, fascinating. All right. Well,
All right.
this place feels a little more empty now.
Yes.
This is good. Super. You know, one of the things that can happen when we're working in a big building like this is we can have ghosts or untransitioned spirit people that are resident in the space, but we don't encounter them because often what can happen is we come into a room and we almost displace those energies. They know what we're here to do, and if they have intelligence enough to have an opinion about that, then sometimes they actually move away from us. So as we come into a room, they exit a room, and they continue to do that as we're tracking through the space. Because Dawn and I both feel that it's possible that there are other souls here. Nothing majorly obvious getting our attention, but I feel like it's possible, but that they have moved away from us. And I think that can happen in big spaces. I'm okay with it, but we thought, you know what, we're gonna share that with you guys because sometimes that can happen.